everyone, welcome to the 19th edition of the group exhibit Hydrogen Fuel Cell here at the HANNOVER MESSE 2013. I invite you to come and have a seat. We have a great discussion and drinks on the house. People will bring you, or waitresses, lovely waitresses will bring water, juices, whatever you may want. And let's discuss about H2 Nitidor Electrolysers, hydrogen generator for industry, home and mobility. Please help me welcome from H2 Nitidor, their technical director, Mario Dragoni, as well as Nitidor Hydron CEO, Mr. Paulo Ferreira. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Dragoni, I would like to ask you, H2 Nitidor is kind of a spin-off from an earlier company that started in 2009. So why don't you tell us the history of Nitidor in itself, so we better understand where you're coming from and all the experience you're bringing up to the table?
So, Nitidor was founded in 2009. It's a very younger company, but our background is more old because our experience comes from Casale Chemical, is a Swiss company, and we start to work on electrolyzer, alkaline types electrolyzer in 1999. Practically is 14-year year our background experience.
So your team is bringing over 15 years of experience to the table.
The team is younger too, but with very long experience. Every team, every people, every technician come from university, and before come in our company, minimum have a 3-4 year study on electrolyzer, and the master was taken also with our help in university. Practically every technician come from university and have very good background.
So bringing a lot of smart people to develop your technology. And we can see it at your booth, which is located behind us, behind the stage here. And you have quite a wide range of products you're offering. Can you give us some size and what they are?
Yeah, the minimum size of our electrolyzer, we start up to 200 normal liter per hours, up to megawatt. Megawatt means 200 normal cubic meter per hours. And the important point is we try with high pressure. High pressure means 30 bar is for our company the standard. In this year, we are looking to make also more high pressure, and we expect in the next year, 2014, 64 bar working pressure, under pressure electrolyzer. In practically with this component, we can cover a large part of the market, electrolyzer market, starting for telecommunication, up to mobility, and up to power to gas plant.
So because of the German initiative, a lot of people are talking this year about power to gas, and your company is already presenting, or not presenting, but offering a product that can kind of solve this issue. Could you tell us what, like, this megawatt system that you're offering and how it already does what we're looking for?
We proposed last year the solution for megawatt ready to place. I means ready to place for me is electrolyzer is inside of a container and is easy to place, just for help the customer. Normally, it's usually to build the building and to put inside several electrolyzers, and that need time to assembly and to connect, etc., etc. With our idea to put inside of all electrolyzer inside of a container, in practical we can test in our factory, in our workshop, and delivery and place in to customer, and with a system we call plug-in to connect at the rest of the plant in order to have ready in fast time, in several weeks, the plant. This is a good way to
So it's
place.
a plug-and-play system in some
Exactly.
ways. You're taking away all the technicality and the difficulty of installation that a usual end user would need away from them. You're taking care of it in your factory and it's ready to use.
Yeah, just for example, for assembly 1 megawatt now need more than 1 month. 2 months is the normal time.
To make it in your factory, you mean?
No.
The installation.
Our competitor, you need 2 months and more to assemble the part of electrolyzer inside of building. Our proposal is to assemble in our workshop the electrolyzer inside of a container and delivery. In this case, the customer needs just 1 week, 2 weeks to place and to connect. I can reduce the delivery time. This is important because also reducing the cost. And in the electrolyzer inside of a container can save also the building because it's possible to put upside the building. You don't need to build protection because are protected by...
It's already in a container.
Container, right.
So if you don't have the room inside your facility, you can always install it.
And the cost is down.
So before we move to Mr. Ferreira, I just want to remind you that it's an open public forum, so you're welcome to ask questions. If you do have any, please raise your hand and I'll come down with a microphone. So just moving on to Mr. Ferreira, could you tell us what is you're the CEO of Nitidor Hydron. Can you tell us how it fits in the bigger picture of the Nitidor group?
Okay, Brazil, Hydron is a Brazilian company, and now we are partners of Nitidor. And Brazil and the South America is a region with plenty of renewable energy. We have lots of solar, wind, and hydropower. So this context fits perfectly into the hydrogen technology. So you can produce hydrogen from solar, from wind, and from hydropower. And in Brazil, we have a good market for this. So we started this partnership to produce the Nitidor equipment in Brazil and distribute to the entire South America.
So realistically, from what I hear from the discussion here, is it's similar to Germany a little bit, where they're looking for a solution for their renewable energy. But a lot of people would argue that alkaline electrolyzers are not the solution because they're supposedly not as good to follow the load. And either of you may want to answer this question. Would you agree that it's not a good fit, that we better go to PEM electrolyzer, or is your technology as good and can fulfill that demand for power to gas generation?
Yeah, we confirm. Sure, the PEM electrolyzers it may be the future, but for our point of view is future by future. Now we are ready with alkaline. Alkaline technology is old, but is ready, and we can try to make more efficiency, etc., etc. And in this moment, from our point of view, alkaline electrolyzer is the best solution for the market, power to gas market also. About PEM, maybe in the future the efficiency down, but in this moment the efficiency is more lower than alkaline. And if you think the cost, to produce electricity, power electricity by wind or by solar panel is very high. The percentage of efficiency, just 5 point, 10 point, is important to do. It's important to have, because you pay the plant very high cost in order to power electrolyzer. It's impossible to lose power in efficiency. This is.
Many people would argue, though, that the alkaline electrolyzer are not as good at following the load, like the up and downs of renewable energy. How do your technology counter this problem?
No, our technology was a study in the beginning exactly for this operation. We can connect it directly to solar panel or wind generator For solar panel, we have, for example, MPPT software, and for falling the power. For falling the power come from solar panel, and also for the wind. But absolutely, we don't have problem for very variable loading by wind.
So why wait to counter all the problems and challenges that PEM electrolyzer faces when we do have the technology available? And on display at your booth, right behind us again, they have one of those container size alkaline electrolyzer on display. And I would like you to expand furthermore on one of the projects you're involved with, which is MobiPost. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
So, the electrolyzer we show in our booth is exactly next week, maybe, or 3 weeks. We deliver in France. We are involved in a European project we call MobiPost, and we are supplier of electrolyzer system, also the connection to power, PV, and in practical we control power by MPPT software in order to producing on demand and under exactly power is available. So this is a very important project because we are producing hydrogen, and we fill hydrogen in a special tank. The tank is assembled in the motorbike, 4 wheels, that is used for delivery post by La Poste France. It's a very important project.
So it's used by their small fleet vehicle, is that correct?
10 vehicles, 5 and 5. 5 in one place and 5 in another place.
So there will be 2 MobiPosts, so 2 refueling stations?
Exactly. 2 MobiPost refilling stations with 5 electrical motorcycle powered by hydrogen. And the target is to delivery post by hydrogen.
And I believe there's another project you're involved with in the Torino region.
Yeah, this is very new. We are involved also in a space project. Is financed by Turin region and the European community. Our target is to make a special stack. It's a reversible stack. In practically now existing. Is used in the rocket, in the Skylab. Is used electrolyzer to produce nitrogen and oxygen, because oxygen is used for the people inside, and but is composed by 2 elements: electrolyzer and fuel cell. Our target is to combine both in order to have just one pieces. And able to, when you power, to producing gas, and when you put gas, to producing power. This is a very interesting project because it's not easy to do, but it's a very good experience for us.
It's an R&D project at this point. If I can come back to Mr. Ferreira, Mr. Dragoni was telling us about those MobiPosts that are ready and will be installed in the next couple of weeks. For La France Post, do you see a similar type of system that could be installed in Brazil, since you have so much of that photovoltaic energy and such?
Yeah, certainly. This system developed by Nitidor can be used also in Brazil. Usually we have fuel cell and the electrolyzer, separate equipments, but if you can put that together and make just one equipment, it will be plenty of applications also in Brazil. And we are now starting a project in Brazil with Itaipu. Itaipu is the largest hydropower plant in the world, and we are start this project this year to produce a station with hydrogen production, compression, and storage for a future project with bus and fuel cell vehicles in Itaipu.
So I've been at the fair here for over 7 years, and I unfortunately never really had this chance to interview someone from Brazil. So I'd like to get a bit of a feel of how is the authorities, the government, participating in the overall fuel cell and hydrogen development?
The Brazilian government is very committed with the hydrogen economy. We have several actions by the government to facilitate the introduction of this technology in Brazil, and several sponsored R&D projects, and now we have some demonstration projects in Brazil also. The government recognizes the potentiality of the country for renewables and the use of hydrogen as an energy vector.
Well, without stating something that I'm not 100% sure, I remember reading or hearing on TV that Brazil is the second largest growing money country, if you want. So, you know, the room for renewable energy and green energy is quite important, and I'm really happy to hear that you are as involved as you are. It seems to be a great cooperation between the two. And then just one last thing, because we're running out of time, I'd like to go back to Mr. Dragoni and just a quick introduction on your system for house power-to-gas production with those burners for your oven that I found was quite interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Now we talk about industrial and about the space, but I needed to stay in the health. And the inquiry we receive from the market is to help the house to make a off-grid system. That's because the people like to see green economy user in the house. Our proposal is to use a special panel, solar panel, we call hybrid, because this panel can produce electricity but also hot water. And by 8 pumps we can heat at home, and by electricity we can power electrolyzer. Our proposal is powered electrolyzer and producing hydrogen and storage hydrogen during the day when the people don't use electricity, and in the second time, when we need electricity but is not available the sun, for example, we can using a fuel cell to power the house. But also, our idea was we take idea last year to use hydrogen directly in the burner. For this reason, I studied the burner with a Swiss company, and now we have a catalytic burner, and we can...
This catalytic burner uses hydrogen directly.
Exactly, and you have flame. It's not a flame, really, but it's red color, and this temperature is about 600, 650 degrees, and this is good because you produce any pollution, because with using hydrogen, of course you don't have CO2, CO, etc. But if you burn at high temperature, you have many NOx and NOx. But using catalytic burner,
there's no emission whatsoever.
Exactly.
Well, I invite you to actually go see this technology and talk further on this subject with Mr. Dragoni and Mr. Ferreira. Back at their booth, which is located just behind the stage here. And please help me thank both of my interview partners for this great interview.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.